going on, everybody? It's New here. I got something special to show you. Something of an update for the 8-mod corrupted map farming strategy that I've done and advertised the past 2 leagues straight. I think it's honestly one of the most useful mapping strategies that I've come out with as somebody who absolutely loves farming 8-mod corrupted maps, either with Wandering Path or without. Collecting those maps can be an extremely tedious process if you're trying to use trade. It's kind of a mess. If you go to TFT, you may or may not even see an active market on it. And in my opinion, it's best if you just farm them yourself using this sextant that makes every map in your map drop with 8-mod corrupt rare. And that sextant can be very expensive. It happens to be really expensive at this time of the league, respective to other leagues at this time. Quite surprised, clocking in around 150 chaos a piece. So you really don't want to be messing around when you use that sextant. You absolutely want to employ a sound strategy that will pull a lot of maps out of each map. And this atlas that you see right here, I think is a great example of what you see. So only major update from the last video that I came out with is the addition of a few points to hopefully spawn a Delhi mirror naturally. You can see it's still going Wandering Path. There's still increased chance for the maps and literally every single duplicated map node, not focusing on the alternate map nodes because we're going all the way down the line with Cemetery, because that's the map that I want to farm up. This is not going to be a 100 map farming session. It's just going to be kind of a shorter one, 16 maps total. But my goal is to farm up at least 100 8-mod corrupted cemetery maps for an upcoming major session. I think I will only need to do about 16 maps total to do that, because I'm expecting to get somewhere close to 10 maps to drop in each map, if I can be so lucky. I did discover last league that Delirium doesn't nearly impact map drops as much as I thought they used to. In fact, maps literally cannot drop off of Delirium monsters. I'm not exactly sure if it impacts map drops really at all. I used to think it did, and an awful lot, but we're going to try it out without such an emphasis on Delirium. It's not on the Keurig map device as well, but we do have Ambush on here. Everybody knows Ambush. Strongbox is a terrific source of maps. So is Legion. So Legion is a big part of this. I thought about doing some other things like Breach or Harbinger, but I really just cannot get away from this tree. Honestly, I think it's one of the absolute best. Legion is also pretty decent with Wandering Path as well. So here's a tree. Again, just focus primarily on maps, cranking up as much quantity, increased effect of modifiers on non-unique maps, what have you. And again, just kind of all the different map nodes. Eater of Worlds going to be taking all of the quant rarity altars, and certainly going to be taking map duplication altars if they show up. So I'm just starting off with 4 maps. I'll simply run another 12 maps that I find, and it's just all gilded here. So last time I did this, I needed to farm up 1,000 8-mod corrupted Crimson Temple maps, and I ran 100 maps to do that. Actually hit almost 1,500 maps doing that, but that was with all winged scarabs, and winged scarabs are quite expensive this league. Doing the math, you honestly can almost justify potentially going winged scarabs with this again if that 8-mod corrupted sextant keeps going up, up, up. So you can do the math yourself. I think for the sake of a show and tell, I'm just going to use something that's a little bit more relatable, a little bit more replicable, and we're just going to be relying on gilded scarabs. I still think I'm going to walk away with probably close to 10 maps per map, and I'm going to be using elevated strongbox. Good idea to use elevated here if possible. Elevated +1 Legion doesn't matter, just being convenient for myself. Regular enraged strongbox and 8-mod corrupted. Looks like I may have actually forgotten to buy some of those for enraged strongbox. We'll get to it when we get to it. I will go ahead and keep time of the runs as I'm going through, and we'll figure out how much currency I'm making. Just so you're aware, at the current pricing, with this sextant being 1 divine a piece for 16 uses, this one being around 30 chaos for 4 uses, this one being around both the enraged and 8-mod corrupted sextants around 150 chaos, nearly a divine each, for 4 uses only. And that really cranked up the cost of the investment up to around 0.7 divines. up to around that point. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with one map. And we're going to put these in here. I may have to purchase a couple more of those sextants. Might have forgotten to buy all that I needed. Oops. So I've been running Fortune Favors the Brave, but with Strongbox, we're going to be doing Ambush. Oh, one more thing, almost forgot. Of course, the Divination Scarabs in here, because if you're going to focus on maps, it coincides extremely well with Divination farming. So you might want to do some Divination farming while you're at it. And whereas in previous leagues, I've always picked Colonnade, pretty decent map, and get patient cards out of there. Cemetery is definitely a lot better as far as open divination maps are concerned. I do think Cemetery definitely the absolute best open map that has essentially S-tier divination on there with the New Brother's Gift. So here we go. Map number 1. Okay, you can see there's actually a little over a 50% chance that I spawn a Deli Mirror. Deli Mirror can be really hard to handle. It's not that important though. Honestly, don't put too much emphasis on Deli Mirrors. I think especially for this strat, try to you know, clear the map as best you can. But honestly, it's probably a lot more important to rush the boss on this map if you can. So using a Poison Tornado Shot. I do have a Headhunter now. I think this is the first video that I've featured with a Headhunter. Honestly, so I've been playing with a Headhunter. It's not all that super impactful for Poison Tornado Shot. Really just about the survivability. So there we go. Map boss dead. You'll notice that I did a Sinvictus weapon swap to get Rampage, even though I no longer have Bisco's Leash. I even had to Crucible Sinvictus with minus attribute requirement, which was pretty quirky, but that got the job done. Now I really... Oh, here we go. That's nice. Really want to unlock all the altars. The altars are pretty important here. You can see the quant number's pretty high already, but your quantity on gear doesn't make any impact for map drops, and it only impacts divination cards. However, quantity on map does impact the map drop, so you really want to get that quantity number on the map as high as possible. That's what the altars do. Now it looks like I'm pretty unlucky. I got very poor Eldritch spawn on this map. Not very many Eldritch packs, not many Eldritch monsters. Remember, I mean, this pack size is pretty high, 60% here. But it looks like I'm going to be completely dry on this, so that's really unfortunate. Okay, well, Legion it is. Legion's still pretty good at dropping maps, you'll see, and it definitely, I think it has the highest chance. I can go ahead and start opening strong boxes while I'm at it. Also has the highest chance of giving me a map conversion. That's another big thing. You know, I don't like having to rely on jackpot drops as much as I can, but I'm telling you, there's nothing like doing a strategy like this and seeing your entire screen full of map drops. Normally, we don't really care about map drop, jackpot goblin drops. But in this case, okay, there we go. Finally got one altar. And wouldn't you know, that's a pretty nice sight right there. That looks pretty good. This is what I want to see. Already off to a great start, honestly. And yes, I'm even using Gilded Legion Scarabs because I want the boss drops too. The bosses, the Legion bosses, absolutely can drop some maps and quite often do. So do the Warhordes. And this is a pretty simple map, you know. It's really not that hard to do. I'd say pretty easy for a Wandering Path, especially if you don't have the Delirium on there. And honestly, again, I can't emphasize this enough. People get really, you know, hair-triggered about Delirium mirrors. How do I keep the mirror up? You know, oh my gosh, the mirror's falling off. Cemetery, Deli Mirror farming seems impossible. Yeah, it's really not. This map is not really made for Deli Mirrors. I only go ahead and put it on there because it's convenient to do so with a measly 6 points. I think 6 passive points. This is one of those strats where it's actually really important that you full clear the Eldritch spawns before you do the mechanics. Bolto, how many unions did you say it took you to get, and you still haven't gotten a brother's gift? Man. feel bad for you, dude. Yeah, a little gift. We'll count how many Union cards I have to see if I really deserved that. But probably. I probably will actually have quite a few. Lost the mirror already. Oh, there you go. That's such a small one, though. But hey, that's what you get sometimes. Now you're wondering how that dropped anything other than cemetery maps. Well, Goblin conversion map drops do not obey the singular focus keystone. They do, however, obey the favorited map system, so it's kind of like having all your maps favorited for Crimson or Cemetery, but not having any of it keystone. Would be a build that nobody plays. I don't know. What? Really? I've fired 2 arrows, guys. I fired 2 arrows on this map, and I already got a red star. This game's that easy. It's just that easy. Some concerning events that have affected the strat. The 8-mod corrupted map drop sextant is what we're talking about. Every single map I'm dropping, you see me pick these up, they're all 8-modded and rare. Today, got brother's gift. Yeah. Yeah, I got a brother's gift today. At least one. Maybe 2. Timing gets you every time. I'm just farming maps. I don't even care about div cards, but I run this strategy synergizes so well with div card farming because they're both super high map quant farming strategies. And so it's almost like you're an idiot if you don't combine this with divination card farming. The Enraged Strongbox Sextant, very good for dropping maps. Strongboxes in general, inside strongboxes, good for dropping maps. And I might even get like a Cartographer Strongbox, which I haven't seen yet, but could happen. Because new hits you critically with the timing of drops. Yeah, okay. Well, here it is. An entire dump tab full of a lot of maps. Mostly Cemetery. We're going to see how many maps drop. This went way better than I expected, honestly. I was anticipating maybe 8, 9 maps per map based on recent times and doing strat like this before. I found way more than that, and that's... It almost feels like I found the same amount of maps that I usually find with a winged scarab strategy, which is actually insane because winged scarabs would give me an additional legion, 4 additional strong boxes, and like 30% more maps. Which makes me start thinking, you know, napkin math in my head. Maybe, yeah, that's probably like 50% more maps across the board. And maybe Wing Scarabs really is worth it, even though they're like 40, 50 chaos apiece. I don't know. Probably kind of hard to buy in bulk, though. But I certainly have at least 100 maps here, and we're going to find out. We're also going to find out how much currency I made. I made quite a bit because I actually got fairly lucky with Divine Orb drops and Brother's Gift drops. So let's look into all that. Well, started off here. Remember, an investment cost about 0.7 divines per map. So it was 9.74 divines across 16 maps. You can see here I come out with 28.6 in the gross, but actually we have to factor in additional currency for the maps that I found because, you know, we're paying so much to get those 8-mod corrupted maps. I'm going to factor them in at a rather conservative 5 chaos additional per map. So I'm going to take whatever the number of maps we have and I'm going to factor it in additional. Let's see how many maps there are. No? You're not gonna display any maps, really? What? Hold on. What? Hold on. What the heck? Why is it not showing me my maps? Excellence doesn't show maps anymore? Like, that's a normal thing? Why would they do that? Why, as if they don't have any value? Okay, I'll be right back. I guess we'll figure out, I don't have any maps. Okay, I'm back. I have now pulled all of the cemetery maps out of the dump tab. Put them in their own separate dump tab, and the result is 164. 164 maps in total, which is better than I expected. Again, I thought maybe 7, 8, maybe 9. So I came out a little bit over 10. 10 maps per map. 10.25 maps per map would be the rate that I had there. Very excellent showing. That kind of makes sense because with like the absolute maximum investment with the other strategy, I came out to around 15. So if I do the same strategy but like go all winged, all elevated, everything, it's like 15 maps per map. So do keep that in mind when you're checking the pricing of things. But I definitely recommend for most people, the vast majority of people, gilded. Don't do polished on any of this, do gilded. You're going to see I got a lot of divination cards too. Wandering Path divination card farming is very good. Once again, map drops are not affected by player quantity, but it is affected by map quantity. Divination cards are affected by all forms of quantity, except for Delirium. Delirium appears not to affect maps. I think that was proven pretty well here by the fact that it did so well, even though Delirium only spawned on a few maps. I definitely think I'm solidifying my belief that Delirium does not actually impact map drops, and probably not really divination card drops a whole lot, although yeah, a little bit there. Alright, so we're going to add, or times this by 10, because I'm crediting myself 10 chaos per map here, and it's about 180. See? So I don't think there's any other major outliers the excellence isn't picking up on. There might have been something in there, but anyway, we're going to add all of this here to the gross total. Again, this is only 16 maps, guys. And we're going to take it minus this number here. And this was about 2 hours to do this, not counting technical difficulties. And so divines per map, this is a net profit. Again, crediting 10 chaos per map found, because again, if you went on trade or TFT and you tried to buy 8 mod corrupted crimson or 8 mod corrupted crimson temple or cemetery maps, you're probably going to pay at least 10 chaos per map. And you can see that if I value these at 10 chaos per map, I'm more than made up for the cost of the sextant, certainly. Let's see, so it's 1.72 divines back per map. And again, net profit there. Takes us back 16, we divide it by 2, and that's about how much I made per hour, which is pretty impressive this time of the league. Over anything over 10 divines an hour this time of the league is pretty good. And that's almost 15 divines an hour. Now, I got a bit lucky, of course. I got the Brothers' Gifts, but keeping in mind that 88 Union cards equals 1 Brothers' Gift, or that should be the ratio. Let's see how many Union cards there are. There's 159 Union cards. Well, that essentially equals 2 Brothers' Gifts in terms of what should be dropping. That is kind of along the lines of what I expect to see. That's impressive. That's 10 Unions cards per map. So I'm expecting to get a Brother's Stash and Brother's Gift once every 8 maps on average with this strat. This is the highest, definitely the highest Union count per map that I've seen on any strategy I've done. No surprise there. This is the first time I've done Wandering Path divination card farming this league. And I'll return back to that, but for the next 100 maps is going to be a non-wandering path strategy. I also got a new Crimson Jewel. Wow, Crimson Jewel actually worth something. 1 divine, I see. Awakened Sextant also up a bit. And a 7 Timeless Marikath emblems is pretty crazy. A lot of fortune there. Some stacked decks, you know, just kind of normal stuff. No insane outliers. I did get an Eyes of the Great Wolf. It didn't roll very well. No uniques. No crazy uniques to speak of. So, I don't know. We're not going to spend too much time on this. Just wanted to show you, or give you some sense of what this strategy can do. Certainly, its greatest value is in conveniently giving you a whole bunch of 8-mod corrupted maps of your choice. So long as you have all the favorited slots unlocked and you are running Singular Focus with Wandering Path, all of the effective modifiers, non-unique maps, and you're taking essentially every player altar you can. If I tried to do this strategy without Headhunter, it'd be very, very rippy. Probably could still 6 portal it though, although maybe not when you factor in Legion bosses in particular. I don't know. You can give it a try if you want, depending on your character, your strategy. So I think that's about it. Yeah, just one last look. Everything is there. That's about it. What sextant am I using on this strat? Well, you're going to see it in the video, and I'll tell you after I close this out. That's it. My final thoughts already said them, basically. It's a good strategy. It's a very, very good way to accumulate 8-mod corrupted maps without paying an arm and a leg through trade, and also while making really good currency per hour in the process. Even if I subtract all of the value from the maps, just for fun, very last final calculation, if I see what kind of currency I made, if I literally remove the most important thing that I was farming for, just looking at everything else, still came out ahead 18 divines. I mean, this is crazy, but even if I subtract both brothers' gifts from that list, so if I subtract the maps and both brothers' gifts, it's still 4 divines an hour. So, still not losing money. Even with those exorbitant sextant prices. There. So, very good strategy. Very useful strategy to help set you up for another farm. That's all I got for now. This is probably the last time I'll talk about this specific strategy. I don't plan to do a 100 map session because I don't need thousands of 8-mod corrupted maps at any point this league all at once, I think. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I'll see you next time.